Following the events of last episode, I decided just to leave the Scorch Earth since I wasn't really making that much progress. So I grabbed whatever I thought was important, anything that I potentially need, hopped on the Moth, and proceeded just to fly over to an obelisk to get the hell out of here. Unfortunately for me, I actually had to leave behind the Moth, and I decided that I was just gonna take the loss and just go on without the Moth. So, rest in peace, Moth. You will be missed. But anyway, I found the server that I was gonna go on, and then I proceeded to head on over to the new server.
Oh man, that's really got you good. No worries, just hang in there for a second. There. Good news. Your armor kept you mostly in one piece. So, quick update. This isn't a simulation. We're really on a ginormous spaceship. And the ship's being taken over by...
Now what are you two little gnats up to? This is to be mine. The first of many.
Okay, time to get away from all these tentacles and prying eyes. This might feel a bit weird. It's a long shot, but if anyone can pull it off, it's you, Survivor. Well, let's get to it then, shall we?
What a wonderful thing to see when first loading into a server. After loading in, the immediate first thing that I decided to do was to head straight towards a mission terminal in order to continue doing the missions, as these missions would be the main requirement in order to beat the boss here on Gen 2. I decided to start off with Circuit Chase, which is just a simple race mission on an Enforcer. As difficult as this can be at times, luckily I got it pretty easy and did it on the first try.
No one's faster than you.
The main reason why I wanted to do Circuit Chase was in order to use its world buff, which would allow for loot crates to be much higher quality than they normally are.
This is a Terran Federation starship, and it's been searching for a habitable world for generations.
And now it's time to hunt down any loot that we can find. The drops on this map, along with the Circuit Chase buff, are absolutely bonkers at times, and you can find some incredibly overpowered things in these that you probably should not have when starting off here. And I decided to abuse that to my power in order to actually get good stuff that I can use. And so I'm not going to show all the stuff that I've been doing, because for the most part it mainly was just flying around looking for drops. But to say the least, I was getting some decent stuff. I decided that this spot right here is going to be where I was going to build my new base, since I had kind of just abandoned my old one back on Scorched Earth. This isn't much, but it's still a good start to what's to come. After continuing to make a little bit of progress on some missions, such as Slipstream Sweep and Maywing Glide, I decided to actually go tame a Maywing, since those things are really useful in a lot of different scenarios. After having this Maywing willingly befriend me, I decided to just put a saddle on it and start traveling around, seeing where I can go. Now that we have this thing, we can go a lot faster and a lot further than just going around with the tech suit. After exploring for a little bit, I found out that these vaults here only had 2 days before they were able to be demolished. So, keep this in mind, especially now that we have apps that we don't really have much. Because if these vaults have stuff in them, then we can take all that stuff and use it for our own benefit. And you know what? That's a good thing. I also decided to go and tame a Managarmer. Why did I decide to do this? I'm not sure. I just thought that they were cool. So, yeah. After that, the Managarmer had been tamed, and now, it's just me kind of just continue working on the base here, really. We have a good amount of stuff now, so that's pretty good. You can notice a few of the things here inside like this 298 pump shotgun. So yeah. I decided that I was just gonna quickly do
Here we
an
go.
attempt to start off in Alpha, which is arguably one of the harder missions in this DLC, where you're where you're strapped onto a dolphin and you're meant to just glide through this place, killing as many things as possible and all
The
that other
replication
stuff.
system is a
And
high-value
it was
target.
going pretty well,
and
and I'm gonna
Rockwell's
show
got it
you
well
a
defended.
basically near flawless way of actually completing the mission. In other words, watch and learn. Watch and learn. The main strategy here is mainly just to start spamming the charge attack so that you can actually hit more enemies at once,
Nice.
because this thing has slight AoE instead of just a single tap button. Also, another thing to note is you want to be kind of going in a zigzag pattern. You don't be like, you don't have to stay in this pattern,
Nice.
but I find this pattern to be really good as you're kind of just zigzagging from one side to the other. Yeah, as you can see in the footage here, I'm going to the right now. And then I'm going to start moving to the left,
He's
and
onto
back
you
to
by
the
now,
right, and so on
he's
and so
probably
on.
left some monstrosity in here to guard his prize. Power up! Nice! There's that monstrosity I was expecting. And it's headed for the whale. Hold on. Trying to open the firewall.
As for this part, this is where it also begins to get a little bit trickier, since there's more stuff here that's going to actually be able to hurt you, and it's just a lot harder just to get
Power up.
points since not everything's
Nice.
as cluttered together. This one you also kind of want to follow the same thing. It's like you want to make sure to have your charge attack like basically ready to go, and you kind of, and like if you want to, the way that I do it at least, I just start spamming that everywhere. Like I will be using that charge attack forever. Like I'll use it for as long as possible. It's really useful because it can also lock onto stuff that's like not really in your range, and it also swerves towards their
Power
direction
up.
a little.
Nice.
So that's also a really good thing to have. Also, something else to note, if you're low on health, like even if you're slightly low on health, you want to try and get health powers, since that's going to be really helpful. And as for this part, you also want to keep a bunch of grenades on you. This will become more apparent in just a second.
Sorry. I don't know what just happened there. My vocal processor went all furry for a moment.
So in this
I mean,
room, there's going to be two
fuzzy.
skiffs. Now, in order to quickly destroy these skiffs, you want to use your
Never mind.
grenades, since 2 grenades will destroy a skiff. Now, destroying these skiffs are really useful, just because later on you won't have to because later on in the mission, instead of having to fight a total of 4 skiffs, you're only going to have to fight a total of 2 skiffs, which is going to be really useful and it helps speed up the process.
Hold on. Trying to open the firewall. Wasn't expecting the replicator subsystem to look like a space whale. Ah, but won't it feel good to spoil a whale hunt?
This part here is surprisingly
comes
easier
another wave.
than the previous part, where now we're just floating in space and now we have full control over the dolphin, meaning you can slow down, you can dodge, you can barrel roll, you can do like the weird
Power
swerve
up.
thing that the dolphins can do.
Nice.
You can basically do all of that now. And, say if you look here, we only have to deal with 1 skiff instead of the usual 2. Now, for this one, the grenades will still be really useful. But here's the thing, meteors will start coming over to the whale to hit it. You want to destroy these as fast as possible. Like, as soon as you see one, you want to go towards it, because you do not want to risk this whale getting that much damage. Also, here's a little snippet as well. If you're playing on a server and the server starts lagging a little bit, you can take this to your advantage by, if the server starts lagging, you can ram into a meteor and it won't deal any damage to you. This is a slightly risky thing to do since you gotta make sure that the server's not lagging, but it is something that works. You can also use grenades to quickly shoot down a meteor if it's like out of your range or you're not able to destroy it in time, since the grenades will one-shot meteors. I would show what to do for the next parts of the mission. Unfortunately, my game ended up crashing during this, and for some reason, any other time that I tried to attempt start off in the game would still crash. So I wasn't really able to do too much after that. So yeah, we'll come back at this at a later time, but just for now, we're not able to do it. After that entire debacle, I decided to just go out and see what I can tame, and luckily I ended up finding this level 145 Yudi, and that's gonna be really useful for boss fights and other stuff later on. So I decided that I was just gonna tame it now before before it just dies somehow. While waiting for the Yudi, I decided just to enter the Rockwell Innards biome and kind of just see what I could find, and it naturally went just as well as you'd expect it to be, especially when on a rush. Also, the Yudi was tamed now. Just letting you know, in case you forgot. So remember those vaults from a while ago that they were ready to be demolished within 2 days? Well, guess what? This video took more than 2 days to make. And so, those vaults are right there ready to go. And so, I was very curious to see what was inside them. So, I loaded up the main wing nearby. I got everything ready. I demolished it. And I opened it. Holy shit, that's a decent amount of stuff in there. Don't worry, that's not all. There's even more. Yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff in here. I would like summarize most of it, but I kind of don't feel like going through all that, trying to figure out everything important. So I'm just gonna show the end result of gathering all this stuff and looking through the more valuable things that I kind of thought I'd saw or that I wanted. This was a good haul of stuff. I also found it pretty funny that there was someone else here that was also grabbing the stuff from the vault. I'm assuming he was also waiting, but I got there first. Not much happened after that. I kind of just got a Ferox tamed because I thought because I really like the Ferox.
Oh, I hope it stays that
and yeah,
cute.
that's basically it. So I did a few things without recording. I wish I was, but anyway, what happened here was I found a bunch of dedicated boxes here that were ready to be destroyed, and there was one of the dedicated boxes that had a bunch of mutagen in it, and I was like, oh my god, that is so useful, because mutagen is such an annoying thing to get. Like, it just takes a while to get it, and just having a bunch of it just sitting inside of a dedicated storage box, just ready to be taken. That was perfect. I'm also pregnant, by the way. With this mutagen that I found, I decided that I was gonna go tame a void worm, just for the fact that I would need a flyer for other maps, and I think a void worm would work perfect, just because I have the stuff in order to tame it. And also, it's a tech dragon. It's a tech wyvern, basically. That's pretty good. So I decided to start taming it, and void worm taming is surprisingly easy. Maybe not easy, but it's not as difficult as you may expect it to be. All it really is just feeding it mutagel and when it does a barrel roll, and then just keep doing that over and over until it fully tames. So I got really lucky that I didn't mess it up. I also decided to reattempt Star Dolphin again, since I was feeling a little bit more confident. I also just wanted to try it again. And so here we are doing it again. I'm not going to show the entire extent, and I'm not going to repeat anything of what I said the first time. So yeah, I'm just going to be doing this quick voiceover in order to kind of just have the sped up version of it here in the background. But you basically follow the same things, like zigzag, shoot, try not to hit stuff, get power-ups, all that other stuff, yada yada, whatever. As for the final part of the fight, where you have to fight the Corrupted Master Controller on a dolphin, you want a barrel roll. You basically always want to be barrel rolling, just so then you're basically always out of sight of him, so he can't really hit you. Another thing you want to have, grenades are pretty helpful, but you want to have is the 2 times damage, which is basically whenever you kill something, you get 1 to 3 power-ups: health, grenade, and damage boost. Damage boost can stack up to 2, where you get 1 damage boost, and then you get another one. So right now in the footage here, it just has like the 1 damage boost, But now, I have the 2 damage boost signified by green. This will deal double damage, so you basically deal roughly 200 damage instead of 100 with the first damage boost. And you want to have this because that's going to help speed this up a lot faster. And it's really, really useful to have. But yeah, you basically just barrel roll. You also kind of want to stay out of his way. There's a time where he'll start laughing, and then this kind of laser gets up, and it will always be hitting you, so you just have to get out of range. You also just want to be careful of everything else around him. But other than that, that's basically what you do, and then he dies. It's a boy! These gender reveal parties are getting wild now. Yeah, there's a Reaper King now. I'm not really sure what I'm meant to do with it other than just raise it. But yeah, there's also just some guy like spamming stuff in chat. I'm not really sure why, but there he goes. I also did life support. Unfortunately, this mission is not the most interesting to watch because it basically involved me just spamming RT like a bunch of times. So yeah, so here's just a little snippet of what happened. This is basically what happened throughout the entire mission. I also did Downriver Run, except I really don't want to show the footage of that. It's just really boring. I also raided another vault. So I just found another vault in the Rockwall biome, and this thing was absolutely stacked. There was like tech stuff, there was a replicator, there was a teleporter, there's like ascendant, and all this other type of gear. It was wild. Like, look at this. There's so much there. But yeah,